Welcome back to the Daily Hack. Today we're going into teacups. So this is a great awareness and mobility exercise that hits a lot of different stuff in the body. And the objective is to basically keep the palm facing up as if you're holding a teacup. Now, I've actually got a teacup here, or a mug, and it's got some liquid in it. So a little bit more challenge. I can't have that cup spilling as I go through this exercise. So, one thing that I like to do to start out, and you can really do this with anything. I've also got a 2-pound ball here as well, but to use a hacky sack. This is going to be a great tool, low consequence, but still will give you the feel of, hey, is my palm facing up to the sky? So sinking down into an athletic stance, so we have some nice integration through the entire body, rooting down through those feet, sinking into the knees and the hips a bit. And we're gonna place the hacky sack or whatever you're using right at the belly button. And we're gonna lead this teacup with the thumb. And I like to place my other hand on the belly button once I start to open up here, just so I'm aware of my center. I'm not all over the place. So I'm gonna externally rotate my shoulder, and you can think elbow towards the hip here. And I'm gonna continue as I go up, over my head, and I'm gonna bring that hand out towards the camera here, and then circle it back around. So if I continue with that path, and let's say I start to compensate a little bit coming through, I'm gonna drop that, right? So I gotta keep that palm up to the sky. And this will teach you some good awareness through the body, sure, but you're also starting to weave in some other movement through the rib cage, through the spine. I'm gonna externally rotate, continue out, and then up over the head, out in front, and then circle back around. And use that movement to accommodate it right now. We're not trying to be super strict through the shoulder. So let's go ahead and get one more of those on this side. Okay, and now we're gonna lead with the pinky. So if I come back to the belly button, I'm going to now internally rotate through the shoulder, bring that hand out, sweep it out in front of the body, over the head, and then I end up right back out to the side. Once again, I bring it back to the belly button, continue internally rotate, reach out to the side, out in front, sweep it overhead, and we'll go one more on this side. So we've got two directions with that. One thing I want you to recognize as you go through this in whatever direction, you're basically going to be creating a figure eight in front of the body. So if I start with that thumb leading the way, externally rotate, right? Coming out to the side, up, overhead, out in front, circling back around, you might be able to at least sense that figure eight pattern. So externally rotate, up overhead, coming back around, and really continuing to breathe and feel into all the different angles that this movement is going to help you hit. So once again, I'm going to reverse that. So bringing it back towards the belly button, continuing, internally rotating, sweeping out to the side, out to the front, overhead, and back around. Continuing to root down through the feet, having nice integration through the entire body. So that's the basic teacup in both directions. Again, you can always use a teacup. Maybe you don't want to start there and you will avoid some spills or a broken mug. Now that you've got a better feel for the teacup, we're going to take it into a switch through the hands. And this allows you to start to get into some fun flow. So we're just going to start with that external rotation or leading with the thumb. So I lead with that thumb, coming up overhead, out in front. And as I sweep back around, I'm just going to switch hands, right? Then I'm ready to roll on this side, sweeping out to the side, up overhead, out in front, and back around. So now I can switch sides and get a nice feel for this flow. Okay, reversing it, it's not as smooth as a transition, right? But just remember, because this is, you might want to continue to reach here, you're kind of going to slice that hand there and then sweep around. Boom. Just making sure that you find that internal rotation. So nice little flow that you can practice, rooting down into that horse stance and continuing to work on that full body integration. So we practiced the Teacups out of this athletic stance, but so much of athletic movement happens out of a split stance or a stride position. So we want to practice that with the Teacups and work on this dynamic stride position. So I've got my right foot forward and the bag is going to be in my right hand. I'm going to bring that elbow to the hip and notice how I'm going to side bend a little bit and have this, this head over foot position here. Now, I'm going to externally rotate, leading the way with the thumb, continuing into that side bend. As I come over the head, I'm now going to switch to compression on this side and expansion on this side. I'm going to continue out in front. And as I circle back around, you're going to see me find this position again. So I'm coming overhead, circling back around, right back into that coiled starting position. Feeling into how the body is changing dynamically through that lunge position. So you're going to notice some change in the hips and the spine, all that good stuff. And to reverse it, leading the way with the pinky, same thing. So now you're going to see compression, expansion, circling back around, and then I find that position here. Okay, so I'm going to show you from the other side. So this way you can get a better feel for maybe some of the positioning that might change here as you go through it. I've got my left foot forward, finding that hip, and then I've got the bag in my left hand. Finding that slight side bend to this left side, circling overhead, leading the way with the thumb. If I'm having trouble kind of finding that sense of stability, placing that hand on the belly button. And then reversing it, leading the way with the pinky. That's the daily hack. Hope you had fun with these Teacups. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. Stay smooth.